Hi, and welcome everyone to our presentation tonight. We're going to be talking about navigating Social Security and optimizing benefits for retirees. Now, your parents' generation didn't think much about Social Security. However, the baby boomers, this is one of their major topics and one of the major things they think about. I'm Max Westerman.
And I'm Victor Connor.
All right, so what's the main problem? People are hurting their retirements by making terrible, costly decisions about Social Security. There's three main points. Number one, there's a big need for Social Security educations. Mistakes can be very costly. Number two, many more people make damaging decisions about when and how to claim for these benefits. And number three, poor Social Security decisions make our job more difficult. All right, so I want to make two guarantees tonight. Number one, this presentation will make people smarter about taking those benefits and when to take those benefits. And number two, we are doing no selling in this presentation, and this is a purely educational event. All right, let's onward. All right, so the Concise Security Social Security Guide and Social Security Analysis downloads. You can download both of these as well as the 2023 Key Financial Data and 2023 Quick Reference Guide. The Quick Reference Guide is up there in the yellow, and the Key Financial Data, which has taxes and all this information on it, is down there in the blue.
And that Boomer's Guide gives everything we're going to talk about, all the main points, so you don't have to take notes.
So you don't have to take notes tonight. You can put the pen and paper away. Just scan this code, scroll down, and all four of these will be right there for you. All right, so the things to know about Social Security. This workshop will address in detail. Number one, you have many claiming options and only one chance to make the right decision.
How many chances?
One.
One chance to make it right.
So your initial decision has far-reaching consequences, and we'll get into all this. So your choice impacts both yourself and your spouse.
Absolutely.
Social Security is not bankrupt nor a Ponzi scheme. We'll talk about spouse, divorce, and widow benefits. And your friends are not the experts. There's too much misinformation out there, especially like we just talked about, where the Social Security is bankrupt and this a Ponzi scheme.
There's way too much misinformation out there. Okay, what do people want to know, Max?
So what do participants want to know? Number one, will Social Security be there for me? Number two, how much can I expect to receive? Number three, when should I apply for Social Security? Number four, how can I maximize my benefits? And number five, will Social Security be enough to live on in retirement? All right, so Victor, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, we'll cover all those. First of all, these are some terms you're going to hear throughout the discussion that you need to know. The biggest thing is when they create how much you're going to get, they start with your AIM, your average index monthly earnings. COLA, most people know that, your cost of living adjustments. FICA, what you see on your paycheck every month as a deduction. The Federal Insurance Contributions Act. FRA, you're going to need to know your FRA, your full retirement age, throughout the entire webinar and throughout to your choices. IRMA. IRMA is a Medicare-related, income-related monthly adjustment amount.
Oh, I thought Irma was my aunt, or the hurricane.
Well, you had Aunt Irma, and then she turned into a hurricane. Oh, boy. Because you might not realize it until it hits you, but there are Irma cliffs where all of a sudden your Medicare goes up, even if you go over by $1. Your PIA, primary insurance amount, and OASDI, which is Social Security, but it's technically the Old Age Survivors and Disability Income. Okay, first, understand the value of Social Security. Many people underestimate the value. And watch this. If you needed to generate $2,000 a month at today's interest rates, and we'll call it 4%, you'd need $600,000 in principal to generate that. If you needed $3,000 a month, you'd need $900,000. And if you wanted to generate $4,000 a month in retirement, you'd need $1.2 million. Social Security benefits are extremely valuable. So from there, will Social Security be there for me? Many people are worried it won't be there, but let's look at what the trustees say. First of all, Again, old age survivors' disability income. Let's see what the trustees reported. The trust fund balance ended 21, 2.85 trillion. They took in 1.22 trillion. They spent 1.24 trillion. They had a net decrease of $89 billion. So right now there's $2.83 trillion.
That'd be a nice trust to have.
That'd be a nice trust, absolutely. Now, here are the issues that everybody hears about. Is Social Security running out of money to fund full benefits? If nothing is done, here's what's going to happen. Right now, we can go through 2023 at 100% of benefits. Starting in 2034, under current conditions, it would drop to 80%. And if nothing is done by 2097, it goes down to 74%. And if you're here in 2097 and your benefits drop, give us a call. So how are they looking at resolving it? Well, there's a number of different things. Number one, increase the maximum earnings subject to Social Security. Right now it's capped at $160,200. Number two, raise the normal retirement age, which you've already seen that happen. It used to be everyone was at 65, now it's 66 or 67. Number three, lower the benefit levels for future retirees. By the way, this is for basically, it'll only affect people 50 and below. Anyone looking at Social Security now, none of these things will come into play. And number four, reduce the cost of living adjustments. They want to reduce it from the consumer price index to the wage index, which would lower the amount of COLAs each year. So let's go on. The bottom line for baby boomers. Well, here's what's happening. There's a lot of things going out there, so we're going to give you 4 clear key insights on this, and this is a cleaner way. Insight number 1, Social Security is inflation-protected income. By the way, every month, every 2 weeks or every month, you see that FICA come out of it, your paycheck, that's funding Social Security. So be smart about how and when to collect because you paid for it. Now, here's what I mean. Social Security offers you income you cannot outlive. And just to give you an example, before COLAs, if you were getting $2,000 a month and you lived 10 years, you'd get $262,000 of benefits. For 20 years, $583,000 in benefits. And if you lived a total of 30 years,
wow,
almost $1 million.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot of money, absolutely. Now, let's throw in COLAs. So, the average historical COLA has been 2.2%. As most of you know, last year we had an almost 10%. But the historical range is 2.2, so we're going to call it 2. That $2,000 with a 2% COLA in 10 years becomes $2,438. In 20 years goes to $2,972, and in 30 years, $3,632. You have inflation-adjusted, guaranteed lifetime income. So
that's pretty good.
That's very good, yeah. So next question, what determines how much you receive? Well, there's 2 big things. Your benefit begins on 1, how much you earned over your career and how much you paid into the system, and number 2, the age at which you apply for benefits. Not everybody waits to their full retirement age. You can do it early, you can do it at retirement age, or you can wait and get extra credit.
And that's the big one, right?
That's the big one. We'll cover those exactly. Okay, how Social Security benefits are calculated. Like the government does with everything, it's got to be a complicated formula. At age 62, they take all of your earnings tallied up and they index them for inflation. Then they use the highest 35 years are averaged, which is your AIM, your average income monthly earnings. It's divided into 3 different, they call them bend points. See what I'm talking about? To determine your primary insured amount, and that's the amount you'll receive at full retirement. And then the benefit is increased each year by COLAs. So the first thing that we get, that's good to know, but why shouldn't I claim early at 62? Rather than delaying to full retirement age. We're going to cover that right now. So, number 3, when?
So, when should I apply for benefits? Your custom Social Security calculator will provide the information you need to select the optimal time to apply. However, let's see some of the factors to consider when deciding to apply. Number one, your health status. If you are on oxygen right now and
take it now.
take Social Security when you can. Number two, your life expectancy. If you had a pre-existing condition that shortens your time on Earth, then take it now. Or then your need for income. If you need income now, take it. And then whether or not you plan to work. And then finally, your survivor needs. All right, so only a custom Social Security analysis can provide the information you need to make your best decision.
Yep, there's a whole lot of data in there, and you can't make it candidly without this data. And we'll be happy to run. These are the reports we will do. They're free, they're complimentary, but it's the only way you really know the right
And we'll
answer.
go in depth farther later in the presentation into what exactly these presentations can give
We'll
you.
cover. Gotcha.
All right, so it all starts here. Your full retirement age, a very important number. First, so if you were born in 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66, and then it increases from there. 1960 and later, you're at 67. All right, so what if you apply for early benefits? Applying for early benefits means you receive less for
how
life.
long?
For life.
For life.
So you'll receive a percentage of your PIA, your primary insurance amount. All right, let's get into a couple examples here. So let's say your full retirement age is 66. You apply at 62. You'll get 75% of the benefits. If your full retirement age is 67, you'll get 70%. All right, let's drop down to 66. So you apply at 66. Your full retirement age is 66. You get 100%. Your full retirement age is 67. You get 93%. All right, so what happens after you apply for your full retirement age? Applying later means substantial amount more in income.
So is there any benefit to applying late?
Yeah, an 8% annual
8%.
delayed credits. All right, so again, same thing, 66 to 70. So if your full retirement age is 66, you get 100%. Now let's drop down. So if you do 70, if you apply at 70 and your full retirement age is 66, you get 132%. If your full retirement age is 67 and you apply at 70, you get 124%. Wow, pays to delay.
Absolutely, it pays delay. An 8% increase every year you pay to delay. It's simply 66 gets 4 years of a delay, so they end up at 32% increase. 67, they get 3 years.
That's
Absolutely.
huge.
Significantly, yeah.
All right, so why delayed benefits? Bigger checks. Everybody likes bigger checks to start.
Now, by the way, this assumes you have a $3,000. Watch this. Max is going to give you the details. Assuming you had $3,000 a month at full retirement
Correct.
age, what happens if you go early?
So what happens if you go early? So you claim at 62, your full retirement age is 67, you get 70%. So the benefit without COLAs is $2,100. Benefit with the COLAs is still the $2,100.
Because we haven't had any COLAs yet.
We haven't
That's
had
first
any
year.
COLAs. That's the first year. So the 67, if you did full retirement age at 67, you get the full 100%. You get the 3,000. But with the COLAs, you're at 3312. So you delayed till 70, the magic number that you should try to delay to unless you have health factors. So you go the 67, the full retirement age is you get that 124%. The benefit with COLAs is 3720.
No, that's without COLAs.
Or without COLAs,
And watch
3720. You're
this
right.
with
And then
COLAs.
watch this, 4359, almost $1,000 more a month for waiting. All right. So why delay benefits? Bigger checks for life. So again, you'll see as you progress in age, you'll see these benefits increase way more. So
And look what happens at 80. You know, if you did early, you're getting $3,000 versus $4,200 versus $5,300. What happens if you wait till 90?
at 90, if you
Claimed early?
claimed at 62, you're at $3,656 versus at 70, you're at $6,400. That's almost
double.
$3,000
Yeah.
more
A month.
a month.
Wow.
Wow, you can do a lot with $3,000.
You're darn right I can.
All right. So how much How much can I expect to receive? The first step is going to Social Security, getting your statement. I'm sure you're getting things in the mail. You can obtain this at the Social Security statement at www.socialsecurity.gov/my account, or use the retirement estimator at socialsecurity.gov, or use the calculators on the website. All great tools. All right, so will Social Security be enough to live on for retirement? The answer is probably not. But how can you maximize it?
All right, we're going to cover now different ways to maximize your benefits, and there's a number of things you can do. First thing, improve your earnings record. Now, when you get your earnings record from Social Security, it's online. Check it and verify it. Mistakes do happen.
That's your main thing, is check and verify, right?
Trust and verify, absolutely. You got to look at it. So, look, is it accurate? Are there any missing years? Things happen, especially if you're self-employed, they miss things. Can you improve it by working longer? We'll talk about that. And each year you work longer, it replaces a 35-year-old lower earnings record. So, it's definitely worth it to work a little longer. So what is the optimum time? Well, that answer varies from person to person. Why? You've got to consider all these items. One, your income needs now and your income needs in the future. Your life expectancy. If you delay, it takes some years to make it up. So your life expectancy is a very significant issue, which obviously varies from person to person. Next,
Victor, where is the break-even point?
Break-even point, if I delay to 70, break-even point's approximately 11 to 12 years. You'd have to make it to 81 to 82 to make up for those 3 or 4 years where you didn't get checks and then started getting checks earlier. That's why life expectancy is such an important factor. And your spouse's life expectancy, and we'll talk about why that's so important in a bit. So you need to understand the results of the different claiming strategies, because once you make that claim, how many choices do you get? How many times can you make the choice?
Once.
You only get to make that choice once.
And how many different variables are there?
Oh, if you put together the ages, I got 65, 66, up to 70, full retirement age, right retirement age, waiting for delay. There's 18,000 combinations.
18,000? Wow.
18,000. That's why just to look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. That's not the way to do it. And we're talking a lot about your custom analysis because, candidly, to make the best decision, you really need to know the facts. And that's the only way you'll know the facts.
Unless you're going to go through 18,000 different variables of different things to do, then it pays to do a comprehensive analysis.
Oh, big time. Big time. Okay, let's talk about taxes and benefits. So, a lot of people don't realize Social Security is taxable, so let's go into it. So first, people say, can I keep working? If you apply for Social Security before full retirement age and you work, $1 of benefits is withheld for every $2 you earn over, this is the magic number for this year, $21,240. So your benefit will be adjusted later, but during that 62 to 66 or 62 to 67, if you earn more than the $21,240, that is inflation adjusted each year, they withhold benefits. But don't let that annual earnings test discourage you from working. You will eventually get money later. And remember, every year you work now will drop off one of the previous 35-year lower figures, so it boosts everything up. Okay, here's how it works. Taxation of benefits. If you are married, filing joint return. I'm just going to hit, because we're all basically over this. The levels are very low. If you're over $44,000 in income, 85% of your Social Security is taxable. It's almost impossible not to make those. By the way, when they started, they said it would never be taxable, but we won't go into that. Married filing joint return, over single. Married was the first one. Single, over 34,000, up to 85%. And watch this. If you're married filing single, it starts at 85% taxable. So, next item. Here are some ways to minimize the taxes. Number one, reduce other income with tax advantage investments. Those would be things like retirement accounts or annuities, but not municipal bonds. They count municipal bond income in determining your income for Social Security taxation. Number two, anticipate your IRA RMDs. What's RMD stand for?
Required minimum distribution.
Distribution. It may be to your advantage to start taking some money out now so that your future withdrawals aren't as big. It's a matter of managing your taxes. Next, it may be worth converting your IRA to a Roth. We have a Roth conversion analysis software as well. Traditionally, if you were over 60, they said it's not worth it doing for Roth because of the different tax strategies and also the idea of passing money to your heirs. There are many times it's worth doing it to a Roth conversion now, but you do it, we'll cover that separately, but it may be to your advantage. And like you're going to hear throughout this, it's very important to manage your taxes throughout retirement. So there are also some tax traps that you won't know about, and there are some Medicare, they call it IRMA cliffs. We'll cover that in a minute. By the way, I want to say one other thing. Even though you don't start your Social Security till 65 or wherever, you still have to apply for Medicare at 65, regardless of whether you're getting benefits at all. You still have to get Medicare at 65. Okay, onward. By the way, we do have a taxes and retirement seminar as well. Here's how Medicare slips in there. Watch this. Medicare, your normal premium starts at $164.90. If you start in your full retirement age and you start early, if you claim at 62, that $164.90 becomes 9% of your Social Security check. If you wait until full retirement age, it's now 6% of your retirement check. And if you wait until 70, it's only 5%. So claiming early also has some effect on how much Medicare impacts the money that you keep. Now next, and there's another way Medicare can shrink your earnings more. These are called the IRMA, Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Watch this. It's a hidden tax. Well, it's not a tax, they just charge you more money. I'm not sure how they do that, but we'll work that out. So watch this. I'm going to assume married filing joint return. First, yellow. Married filing joint return. The two where you have Part B and Part D together totals $19.68 a person or $39.36 for a couple. Now, next thing, income between $194,000 and $1. If you go over $1 over that, then the entire thing goes to $29.28 a month or $5,800 for a couple a year. And if you go over 246, the total is now $5,521 or $11,000 a year difference in higher Medicare cost. Wow. That's called the hidden tax. Okay, onward. So, when to apply? When to apply and what Social Security? If you apply early, your benefit starts lower and stays lower for life. COLAs magnify the impact of both early or delayed claiming. And the longer you live, the more benefits, the more beneficial it is to delay you get bigger credits by delaying. Your benefit may be taxed and it's reduced to cover your Medicare premiums. And then finally, don't let the earnings test discourage you from working. So delayed benefits may give the surviving spouse more income, and we're going to talk about that. And now Max is going to say, why do I need a custom maximization?
Why do I need a custom maximization analysis? Well, the reason you need a custom maximization analysis, as we talked about prior, is because it goes in depth. There's 18,000 different variables that can happen. So we can provide that for you. It's a free service we can provide for you and your spouse. So it helps you and it identifies different options. So, I'm not going to live long, so why shouldn't I just claim my benefit while I can?
Okay, Max, what's number 3?
All right, for couples, you should always maximize the higher earner's benefit to protect the surviving spouse. So, spousal benefits. Spousal benefit equals one half of the primary worker's primary insurance amount. The PIA is primary insurance amount if started at full retirement age, also FRA. So, example down here. John's PIA or primary insurance amount is $2,000. Jane's is $800. If Jane applies her at full retirement age, her benefit will be $1,000. 50% of John's PIA, primary insurance amount. So let's go through the rules of spousal benefits. Number one, the primary worker must have filed for his or her benefits.
That's the key. To get spousal benefits, the primary has to have applied.
Exactly. Number two, the spouse must be at least 62 for reduced benefit or full retirement age for full benefit. Number three, no delayed credits on spousal benefits after the full retirement age. So why is it important to coordinate spousal benefits? All right, so there's a couple different strategies. We're going to get into them right now. So the maximization strategy, where the lower earner's spouse's primary insurance amount is more than 50% of the higher earning spouse's primary insurance amount. So let's go deeper. Both spouses delayed to age 70. One spouse takes the advantage of the spousal benefit as allowed. This maximizes the lifetime benefits over the average or long life expectancies. So in the maximization custom charts that we can provide you guys, these will have all of these strategies in there of which to take. And Victor will get into that later.
Yeah.
So the hybrid strategy is another strategy where the lower earning spouse's primary insurance amount is less than 5% of the higher earner's spouse's primary insurance amount. The lower earning spouse claims early, the higher earning spouse claims at 70. So this generates income sooner while maximizing the higher earner's spouse's benefit over both of y'all's lifetimes. Well, I'm already widowed or divorced, so how does this impact my Social Security claiming strategy? Victor, you want to do insight number 4?
I'll do that. Number 4, if you are widowed or divorced, you may be eligible for survivor benefits, divorce survivor benefits, or divorced spouse benefits that can increase your monthly checks. We find people missing this all the time. Here's some key factors. Number 1, the first thing that affects it is the age at which the deceased spouse originally claimed his or her benefit, the original benefit. If they claimed early, the spouse's benefit is less. If they claimed after, the spouse's benefit gets the increased delayed credits. Next thing. The next thing is, when does the survivor claim the benefit? The first one was when does the original, and now if the survivor. If the survivor claims before full retirement age, their survivor benefit will be reduced as well. If the survivor claims at full retirement age, they will get 100% of the benefit. So, what are the benefits? Here we go. If the spouse dies while both are receiving payments, and by the way, this doesn't happen automatically, you have to advise Social Security. The widow or widower may switch to the higher payout. An example, Joe and Julie are married, both are over full retirement. Joe's benefit is $2,800, Julie's is $1,500. Joe dies, Julie must notify Social Security, and her $1,500 benefit will be replaced by a $2,800 benefit.
Wow.
That's good.
That's
However,
good
there's something they call the widow's penalty, and that is now you have one Social Security check instead of two coming in. These are all the considerations we got to put in here. So we'll give you an example of delayed. Joe and Julie are married. Joe's primary insured amount is $2,800. He waits till he's 70, so his benefit is 124% of $2,800, or $3,472. Joe dies. Julie's survivor benefit now becomes the $3,472, not the $2,800. That's why you delay on the higher earnings spouse the longest, because the survivor will benefit when they get the higher earnings spouses delayed credits in their monthly check. Okay, so how about some rules? Let's go about this. Here's the rule.
Oh man, rules?
And they got to be complicated because it's the government.
Yeah.
1, you must have been married at least 9 months at the date of death, except in the case of an accident. 2, the survivor must be at least 60 for reduced benefits or full retirement age for full benefits. 3, the survivor benefit is not available if the widow or widower remarries after age 60, unless that marriage ends. And finally, the divorce, and this is a big one, the divorced spouse benefit is available if the marriage lasted 10 years or longer. And we're going to talk about why that's so significant in a minute. Okay, divorced spouse benefits. You ready for this? 1, if the marriage lasted 10 years or more, the person receiving the divorced spouse benefit is currently unmarried, and the ex-spouse is at least 62. Then, if the divorce was more than 2 years ago, the spouse does not need to have filed for the benefits for the divorced one to get benefits. But let's keep going. Ready for this? More than one ex-spouse can receive benefits from
Wow.
the same worker.
More than one. Wow.
Yeah, if you were married 3 times, I'm assuming you're a slow learner, the benefits paid to one ex-spouse do not affect those paid to the worker, the current spouse, or other ex-spouses. If someone was married to 3 different spouses, each 10 years or longer, all 3 of them can get full benefits. It doesn't affect the husband, it doesn't affect the wives, it doesn't affect anyone. They're all covered. And divorced spouse benefits stop on the remarriage of the spouse from collecting benefits. All right, gee, I didn't really realize this was all that complicated. Max, isn't there a simpler way? So what's the next insight?
All right, so the problem, people are hurting their retirements by making terrible, costly decisions about Social Security. So, the key insights. Number 1, let's review them all. We went through 4. Number 1, the number 1 insight we went through was Social Security offers inflation-protected income you can't outlive, including benefits for survivors. Number 2, your monthly benefit will be reduced if you claim early. Number 3, couples should always maximize the higher earner's benefit for the surviving spouse. And number 4, if you're widowed or divorced, you may be eligible for benefits that can increase your check, as Victor just talked about.
You'd be surprised how many people miss that.
So consider Social Security in the context of pensions, IRAs and 401ks, required minimum distributions at age 73, the investment portfolio, and work. All right, so what's the solution? Whoa, we've gone round and round, and now this is the solution.
Here is the solution. Everyone needs a personalized Social Security claiming analysis to understand how and when to apply and how the monthly benefit will fit into their overall retirement plan. You can't wing it without making major mistakes. And again, how many times you get to make that choice?
Once.
You only get to make that choice once. And you'd be surprised how many people go, oh my God, there was better choices, and they find out too late. So, know your choices. And the way to know your choices by having a customized Social Security planning analysis. We do them for married and we do them for single. So, here's the deal. On the analysis, you don't have to read all of that. We're going to cover you. They give you the top.
Let's just jump to the next slide.
Okay, they give you the top 5. But I'm going to show you the difference in the maximum versus both claim early. Without going through scenario 1, both claim early, the first yellow point, the total over a statistical lifetime, 1,006,660,000. Scenario 5, maximization, the total, 1,846,000. The difference between the two claiming strategies, $186,000.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. Same couple, same everything. Statistical average life. This has not been skewed one way or another. These are typical. If you claim early, It costs you $186,000 by making the wrong choice.
Wow.
So, how do you get one of these?
So to receive your customized Social Security plan analysis, give us a call. We can help you. Also, for everything that visit the website, and you can scan the QR code, visit our website. You guys have been on our website before. But primarily, give us a call, and we can help you do one of these, create one of these. Victor and I can both help you. You'll give you these 5 steps, but we'll dive into which one's the best for you and for your spouse.
Now, why can't I just go to Social Security and have them help me?
So they can estimate. What they can do is they can estimate the individual benefits and tell you the amount you're entitled to now. What they can't do. What can't they do, Vic?
They can't do an analysis and give you advice on other different alternative scenarios. Here's the deal.
So if I went to the security office and I said, what happens if I claim at 62?
They'll tell you, okay, here's that number.
Okay.
And that's it. They won't give you other alternatives. They cannot give you advice. It's kind of like this. If you know the exact right question to ask, they'll answer the question. But if you don't ask the specific question, they won't answer it. You cannot ask, what is the best thing for me to do? They go, well, that's up to you. Mm-hmm. You can say, well, what happens if I go to 70? And they'll give you the number. What happens if I go to full retirement? They'll give you the number. What happens if I claim early? They'll give you the number. But they only will answer your specific questions. They do not and cannot give advice. They can't do a strategy analysis.
So you have questions, we can help. So number one, when should I apply for Social Security? These are the common questions. What if I want to keep working? What if I've already applied? How much will my benefit be? Can I improve my benefits? And how can I optimize my benefits? And finally, how can I coordinate my spousal benefits? And what's the best long-term strategy for my situation? And what do I do next?
These are the questions you have. Social Security is too important for guesswork. And here's what you do next. You ready? You request a Social Security analysis meeting. We'll give you all the answers. We'll fill in the blanks. We'll talk about the pros and cons. You take a picture or click on that QR code right there, and it'll be a contact us. And we'll contact you, and we'll work out how to get you a complimentary 1-hour meeting and go over all the different scenarios and all the different strategies. So that sort of covers everything. If you need your customized analysis, what do?
Give us a call.
Call us, email us, or hit the things.
Yep. All right. So
that's it. And remember,
we're here looking out for you.